Okay, so I looked at your video earlier from Guild League, and seems like the main thing you're struggling with is how to use your new Warlock skills. So the way you were building up orbs and book stacks before was by using your auto. The thing is, like, if you look at this, it's pretty slow, right? It's taking like maybe 5-6 seconds to build up stacks, and that just takes way too long. So the reason why, like, if you look at your second skill bar, it looks completely different than how it was earlier when I showed you that overview on your new skills, is because you can easily get 20 stacks for your book without even have to be in a fight. You don't have to target anyone. You can actually just do it on your own. You know, you're gonna cast 2 Soul Blast, Tetra Vortex, and then click on either Earth Strain or what is this called? Jack Frost twice, and you can see you're at 20 stacks. And so now you can just, if you need to quickly debuff people, you don't have to, do the whole turn on auto, go through all of this. You can just, you have quick access to your book. You can just, cast your book, and it will cast your new debuffs onto them. Be testing this. So this actually treats it as if this was casted at four orbs, your spellbook. If you look at your warlock skills, if they're casted at 4 orbs, they gain an additional effect. So this one, it'll pull them in the center. It'll also stun them. I was testing this one. I didn't see anything with this. It says it prevents enemies from using skills 3 seconds after the skill ends. But my priest was still able to keep spamming heal, so not sure if that's like a bug or if I just misread it or something. I don't know. But that's the reason why you wanna, you wanna get your 20 stacks so you have quick access to that. Another way to, the reason why you have your Tetra Vortex here is so you can also, say you're at a precast, you're casting your skills, or you're in a skirmish with the enemy stack. If you need at least 4 orbs, but if you have 4 orbs, you can Tetra Vortex, and then you can manually cast your those skills right there, and then you can also follow it up with your spellbook or like 2 more rotations on those 2 skills. So that's the reason why your skill looks completely different than how it was. It's just so easier for you to get access to your warlock skills. The main thing is if you're gonna Tetra Vortex, you do need 4 orbs. So this, maintaining 4 orbs is going to require you to do a little bit of micromanaging. You know, you just need to refresh it every like 10 seconds or so. Say you're at you're defending an area. You're gonna have your precast going. You can cast about 3 gravity fields, and then you can cast your Soul Blast. You can see this refreshes your stack. If you wait too long, you're gonna lose 2 orbs. So before you start doing like your precast, make sure you have 4 orbs first, and then start your precast. So you can also do 2 gravs and a quag. So you do grav, quag, grav, and refresh. Or you can do 2 SGs and then refresh. I'm not sure if you can do 3. You don't have your casting food right now, so this could be at a shorter cast time. I mean, yeah, you could technically do 3 SGs and then refresh. But I mean, just play it safe. Just cast 2 SGs and then refresh. That's how that's the easier way for you to get access to cast your new debuff skills. But your main focus should still be trying to get, like, if you're defending or something, or you're setting up a precast. Use Gravity Field because you're using Dark Priest, Nolia. And then, by Monday when the thing resets, the shop resets, I will buy your last Dark Priest, so then this will be at 3 stars. And then with a 3-star Dark Priest, should do a little bit better job of draining their SP with your gravities. Let me see if if there's anything else. Oh, so the book, right? You actually don't need the skill icon here. You can, because you can just click on the book icon itself. You don't actually need this on your skill bar. Then you can move that here. You can put safety wall back on. I mean, you can like move it around. Depends on how you want to set it up. But you know, you have safety wall back on. If you ever need to cast that either like on the enemy stack or say like somebody gets through the choke point defense, and you can teleport, cast this, and then if you need to napalm Vulcan to apply curse so they're slowed, you can go back to your gravities. So the most important thing for you to focus on for Saturday and going forward is, you know, constantly keeping that 4 stack of orbs and also keeping your 20 stack up. And then something you can do for like WoW or GE with your Oblivion is like you can hide, get a little bit closer to the stack, and then blink in and then Oblivion. And it will probably catch them by surprise. They might have some people on the stack that are just on like a AFK auto. So depending on how close you teleport to them, you might get targeted or you might not. But I think you should be pretty safe if you go for a flanking Oblivion. And also because, you know, you don't need to you don't really need to use your auto anymore. Right? You could technically put your sight back on auto. It's just I'd prefer you not to do that because like say you need to cast, like say somebody gets past the choke point, if you need to cast something like napalm to slow them real quickly, you know, if your sight's on auto and you're trying to cast napalm, it might auto cast sight first before you can actually cast your napalm. And so if that happens, right, they might get away before you can napalm, and then, you know, say it's like X, he got through the second floor hook point and now they're making their way to the imp room. So I think it's better you just don't play with auto, and if you need to sight, you can just manually cast. That's why I moved it on your first skill bar, so you have easy access to that. Because not only that, like your main skill should still be casting gravity fields to proc your Dark Priest. Um, I mean, I'm still gonna keep this, so this is what you'll use for PvP as well. So you have access to the Storm Gust. So if you want to go back to Storm Gust support CC, you can also just, and it's gonna allow you to stack 3. You can keep up 3. You just need to eat your casting food. Other than that, I mean, just focus on keeping your orbs, and then using Tetra, get your, you know, use Tetra to either build your 20 stack or to just insta cast your Warlock skills here. And actually, something to take note of is these skills have a little bit of a bigger AoE than Stormgust does. You can see Stormgust only reaches like right about here. Cisco where it doesn't reach at all. So from right here, you can see it doesn't reach. But these two Warlock skills, they do reach. So I mean, if you want to ever manually cast your debuff skills on the enemy stack, you can do that with Tetra from a little bit further back at a safer distance. I'm not sure if I talked about this, I can't remember, but when you Tetra Vortex, you cannot be moving your character. So if you're gonna Tetra, you know you're gonna Tetra and drop these two skills. Make sure you're in the correct position, close enough to the enemy, and then Tetra, because now you gotta Earth Strain, Jack Frost, Earth Strain, Jack Frost. The thing is, if you reposition, you're not gonna be able to do that skill rotation twice. You can only do it once, and then only cast Earth Strain once. which isn't optimal, right? So make sure if you're gonna Tetra, you're in position so you don't have to reposition to cast your skills. And that's pretty much it. The only other thing would be to kind of quickly look over your actual video, so then we can kind of point out like situations where you can probably like you should have used certain skills. I know for this one, your Oblivion at the start could have been a little bit further up. As you can see, your the edge of your skill is only going right here, but there's more enemies up here. You're a little too far back. You can play like probably right here because there's somebody in the guild that's actually right here. So he's probably gonna draw most of the enemy's attention. So you could stand right here, you know, get the edge of the skill further out, so it's gonna cover more of the enemies with Oblivion. Right here, you know, doing what you're supposed to do, stacking your grabs to get your CC cards to proc. You could, I mean, once they start, you see the front of their stack starting to fall. You know, you can switch over to building up your book stacks, or you can turn on your auto. I mean, that's probably like the only time I'd probably turn on auto is when the enemies are just starting to die. A lot of them are starting to retreat. You know, if they're retreating, there's no reason for you to put AoEs. So I mean, you can just use your auto skills for that when you're chasing them down. But other than that, don't use your auto. So here, like if if you were building up your orbs or building up your book stacks, this is, you can debuff them with either your book or Tetra and then manual cast to debuff them. So the problem here is you guys actually push out to the enemy spawn area. And there's actually no reason for you guys to do that. And I think you all wipe here. Yeah, everybody's starting to wipe. The thing is, the reason why you don't want to push out there is because the minis are gonna spawn in the corner at 17 minutes. Yeah, I don't know if that was the call from the top squad commander or the main commander for map 2. But you guys definitely messed up there by pushing out and dying. Because now the mob's gonna spawn and we have nobody in the top left to secure that mob. Not only that, like I think this is the party that's supposed to be here. But your party is also here as well, which isn't where you guys are supposed to be. You're supposed to still have gone to the top left because that's where you're assigned to. The thing is, if the enemy's pushing from that top left side, your party needs to be the one to meet them and try to prevent them from going down the top stairs. Because we already have parties to secure that top right mob. You can see it's pretty clear here. Your party is down here, which is also not where they're supposed to be, because we also have parties in mid to handle. There's supposed to be parties in mid that can handle enemy parties that go down these tops or bottom stairs. You guys shouldn't even be here either. But then again, I don't have access to the map 2 voice comms, so I don't know if that was the call from the top commander or if that was the call from the main commander on map 2. But I don't think you guys should have been there. Should still have gone to the top. Okay, so right here, you can see like a lot of our guild members are dying to this one guy. This would be a good opportunity, or this is the situation where you'd quickly cast your spellbook to debuff them. After they're debuffed with your spellbook, you'd go into putting down your gravity field, maybe put down a napalm, get a quick curse, and start stacking more gravity fields. But yeah, this is where you definitely, like right here, definitely should have debuffed him with the spellbook. And then the enemy is just kind of chilling at the top of the stairs on their side. I mean, they're already at 8,000 points, so there's no reason for them to even be pushing. You can see right here, it might look like this might be like a good opportunity to Oblivion, but the thing is, like, you guys aren't pushing because you don't need to push up. The reason why is Baphomet spawns at 12 minutes. You want to stay as close to mid as you can, and then they don't need to push down because they already have 8,000 points. They don't want to give you guys any more points. So they don't even need to push down. They can just hold that stairs there. Because if they were to push down and start dying, they're gonna give us points by just dying. So that's something they don't want to do. They are starting to push. I think no Baffle spawns in like 45 seconds. They're pushing down. You're gonna see here. So just as the Baffle is about to spawn, they have a team come in from the top stairs. And so this is where you need to Oblivion. You can see, okay, there's two people right here. Let's start pushing in, and then you start seeing like now it's multiple parties, multiple people starting to push in. This is where you need to Oblivion. You don't like right here. You ran away. You needed to stand your ground and drop Oblivion to stop that push. Because you have your book stacks at 20 already. After your Oblivion, you can cast your book. If you're doing what you're supposed to be doing by maintaining 4 orbs at all times, after you cast your book, you can Tetra Vortex, cast these, manually cast these 2 skills. Actually, I wouldn't book first because I think the book will also absorb your current orbs. So say like right here, you Oblivion, you're supposed to have 4 orbs, so you Tetra Vortex, you do your 2 skill rotations, and then you can follow it up with a book spell. And then you can go back to casting Gravity Field or SG. But instead you can see you Oblivion, but it's already too late because they're already starting to wipe. You can see their whole front line already wiped. But then I mean, at this point, both teams are pretty much at 8,000 points. I mean, we're already like you can tell, like we're getting our asses beat on map 1. I mean, you can see in the video that I'll upload for map 1 that they have like 3 whales that are pretty much this one-shotting everyone. So there's nothing we can do about that on map 1. Here, yeah, you guys are just pushing. I mean, at this point, it doesn't matter because both teams are already at 8,000. So for next Guild League on Saturday, definitely you're gonna have to, work on your micromanagement with your skills, keeping your orbs up, and then getting your 20 stack. I mean, I only played Warlock for like 30 minutes last night, just testing out the skills, so it's not like it's very difficult. It's something you should be able to pick up after you just, play around with it for just get used to using your skills, get used to the skill rotation, and then it'll just become muscle memory. It shouldn't take too long though, but I mean that's the main thing you need to focus on going forward with these new skills.